Hello, welcome to the Mark Janot Show, the cybersecurity show. There is a cyber attack you can call called SIM swapping, and scammers, all they need is your phone number and they can drain your bank account. In this video, I'm going to talk about SIM swapping, the precise steps that they use to drain your bank account, and also OTP, which is another critical component of draining your bank account, and how SIM swapping and OTP work together and how you can protect yourself. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going dark. So it's basically a fraud that allows criminals, hackers, whatever you want to call it, to take control of a victim's phone number by tricking the mobile carrier into transferring the number to a SIM card in their possession. This practice exploits vulnerabilities in two-factor authentication systems that rely on SMS or voice calls for verifications. So now here is a detailed breakdown of how these scammers, hackers, typically unfold the SIM swap. So number one, target selection and information gathering. Scammers identify their target and gather personal information such as full name, date of birth, address, and phone number. This information can be obtained through various means, including phishing emails, social engineering, or purchasing data from the dark web. Number two, impersonation of the victim. The fraudster contacts the victim's mobile carrier, impersonating them. They may claim that they have lost their phone or SIM card and request a transfer of the phone number to a new SIM card that the scammer possesses. Next is exploitation of carrier procedures. So to convince the carrier to process the request, scammers use the personal information they have gathered. They may answer security questions or provide details that make them appear legitimate. In some cases, they might even bribe employees at the carrier to facilitate the swap. That brings us to the completion of the SIM swap. Once the mobile carrier completes the transfer, all calls and texts intended for the victim are redirected to the scammer's device. This allows the fraudster to intercept messages, particularly one-time passwords, OTPs. Remember OTPs? I'm going to get that in a second. Used for account verification. Now, the exploitation of access is next. With control over the victim's phone number, scammers can access sensitive accounts such as banking or social media profiles by using intercepted OTPs to bypass security measures. They may also conduct unauthorized transactions or charge account settings without the victim's knowledge. Now, and then there's the last part, I think is like covering the tracks, right? To avoid detection, scammers may temporarily switch numbers back to the original SIM or perform swaps during odd hours when victims are less likely to notice suspicious activity. Now let's talk about, OTPs, which is a one-time password, right? It's a security feature used to authenticate users during login attempts or transactions. It is a unique code that is valid for only a single session or transaction, significantly enhancing security compared to traditional static passwords. So the definition and purpose of an OTP, also known as a one-time PIN, one-time passcode, or dynamic password, serves to verify users' identity by providing a temporary code that cannot be reused. This mechanism helps mitigate risks associated with static passwords, such as interception and replay attacks, where an attacker could use stolen credentials to gain unauthorized access. Now, how OTPs work, there's the generation. OTPs are generated automatically using algorithms, and they can be either numeric or alphanumeric strings. There are two primary types of OTPs. You have the hash-based OTP, HOTP, generated based on a hash algorithm that increments a counter each time the user accesses the system. You have the time-based OTP, that's the next one, TOTP, valid for a limited time, usually between 30 to 60 seconds, after which a new code is generated. Delivery, once generated, OTPs are sent to users via various methods, including SMS, email, or through dedicated authentication apps. This ensures that the user receives the code directly and securely. Now, in regards to usage, the user must enter the OTP within the specified time frame to complete their login or transaction. If not entered in time, a new OTP must be requested. Now, the benefits of using an OTP, again, the enhanced security. OTPs provide an additional layer of security beyond static passwords, reducing the likelihood of unauthorized access. Mitigation of risks, right? They help prevent issues such as forgotten passwords and replay attacks, since each code is valid only once and expires quickly. In regards to multi-factor authentication, also known as MFA, OTPs are often used as a part of MFA strategies, requiring users to provide something they know, like a password, along with something they have, the OTP, for added security. So now here's the connection between SIM swaps and OTPs. First, you have the interception of OTPs. When an attacker successfully performs a SIM swap, they gain access to the victim's phone number and can receive any SMS messages sent to that number. This includes OTPs sent by banks or other services during authentication processes. As a result, the fraudster can bypass security measures intended to protect the victim's accounts. Next, we have account takeover. With access to the OTPs, attackers can log into various accounts like banking, social media, etc., that use SMS-based multi-factor authentication. This can lead to significant financial loss, as they can drain accounts, change passwords, or perform unauthorized transactions within minutes of gaining access. So, fraud prevention measures. To combat this threat, some companies are implementing measures such as checking for SIM swaps before sending OTPs. For instance, using APIs that detect recent SIM swaps can help identify potential fraud before an OTP is dispatched. Additionally, financial institutions are encouraged to adopt multi-factor authentication that does not rely solely on SMS-based OTPs, incorporating methods like biometric verification for enhanced security. Now, here's how you can protect yourself from a SIM swap. You're gonna want to enhance your account security, right? Set unique passwords. Use strong, unique passwords for all your online accounts. Avoid reusing passwords across different sites, especially between social media and financial accounts. Remember, you don't want them to drain your bank account. That's what this is kind of all about, right? You're gonna also want to enable two-factor authentication. Whenever possible, opt for authentication methods that don't rely solely on SMS, such as authentication apps. This ties the authentication process to your physical device rather than your phone number. Now, you're gonna also want to strengthen your carrier protections, right? Add SIM protection. Many carriers offer a SIM protection feature that locks your account against unauthorized SIM changes. Make sure this is enabled, right? Use pins and security questions, right? Set up a separate pin or security questions with your mobile carrier to add an extra layer of verification before any changes can be made to your account, right? Be cautious with personal information. Limit sharing your phone number, right? Be selective about where you share your phone number and avoid posting it publicly on social media or websites. Beware of phishing. That's another one. Beware of phishing attempts. Stay vigilant against unsolicited emails, texts, and calls that ask for personal information, right? Legitimate companies will not request sensitive information via these channels. So if you like this video, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. I appreciate your viewership. See you on the next video.